In your career, one of the other things we also talked about was, which I found fascinating, was ghostwriting.
Yeah.
The notion of you coming in or being the hired gun for someone. Can you talk a little bit about, we talked about finding the person's voice as opposed to yours, and the kind of the different mindset or discipline that you've got to use for that kind of thing?
Yeah, ghostwriting, in fact, to a great extent, is where the money is. You know, and although people don't realise it, quite a few books downstairs in the library that you think are by author X are in fact ghostwritten. I mean, James Patterson is the prime example of this. Almost all of his books are ghostwritten, to the extent that he's now putting the ghostwriter's name on the front, so they're no longer ghostwritten. But you know, there's at least one other very well-known author that I know about whose books are ghostwritten. Yeah, sometimes when you're ghostwriting, you do, as you were saying, have to somehow work out the voice of the person who's theoretically the author. I mean, other times it's a bit easier because you simply say to this person, you know, look, this is the way I think it ought to be. And if they've got any sense, then they say, yes, fine, that is the way it ought to be. Because after all, it's like sort of going to the doctor and telling him what medicines to take, rather than letting him tell you, you know. No, as I say, ghostwriting is a lot of fun once you get into it. It certainly pays the mortgage.
So you don't find it constraining? It's funny, again, I would think that trying to write as someone else, you would find it...
To be honest, it's a lot easier in the sense that, you know, you don't feel the same kind of sense of responsibility. You know, if I'm sitting and writing something as myself, then, you know, this is something I've got to be pleased about being published with my name on the front of it. Whereas if I'm ghostwriting, you know, I don't have to have that worry. I do obviously have to have the way that the person who's paying me likes it. But, you know, I can sort of switch off my mind off and think of other things while I'm you know, sort of writing like that.
Interesting. Well, we also talked about for lack of a better word, the different markets that publishing companies are looking at, and one of those that obviously has grown tremendously over the last few years has been the young adult market. And you yourself have come out with a line of nonfiction young adult books, which is Debunking series.
Well, it's not really a series.
Right.
But yeah, there's this book which is for young adults. This is actually the second edition, which came out just the other day. And I did another young adult book from the same publisher.
Why did you feel swept away into that?
Oh, yeah. It was because I had this great idea for a title for a young adult book. And then I put the book together afterwards. It worked out what was going into it. But the title I thought a splendid title. It was The Young Person's Guide to Bullshit. So I actually entered this into a title competition that one of the bloggers was running, and so everybody voted. There was mine, about sort of 50% more votes than anybody else. It was a good name for the award, actually. The award was called the Meager Puddle of Limelight Award. But anyway, so I sort of decided that what I would do would be this book for young adults about essentially critical thinking and debunking, the garbage that they're so often told, particularly through the media. My wife, who also agents for me, found a publisher, Zest, who would take the book on. So that was great, And then about 2 weeks later, my editor got in touch and he said, we have a problem. We told our distributor about this book, The Young Person's Guide to Bullshit. And they had a fit. And they said, you can never use the word bullshit on the front of a young adult book. You know, apart from anything else, you know, Barnes and Noble stand for it. So we called Debunk It instead. But about a year and a half, 2 years after Debunk It was published, along came one of those publishers who published particularly editions for Barnes and Noble, and they bought the hardback reprint rights and promptly retitled the thing Bullshit. Somehow Barnes and Noble lived with it, you know.
So you had a title first and then you wrote a book.
That's right.
Okay. That's, again, shocking to me.
Okay.
Again, I would have thought one of the things we talked about in the beginning was you get an idea of personal interest that you like, and that steers you that way, and then all of a sudden you went the complete opposite way and said, oh, I have a great title, let me come up with something to put there.
Well, yeah, but I mean, if you bear in mind that I've been writing in that critical thinking, debunking field for some years. In fact, I mean, my first solo book was a book called Directory of Discarded Ideas, which was about scientific ideas that have, you know, sort of fallen by the wayside, like the luminiferous ether, phlogiston, and stuff like this, and Martians.
And Martian, okay. So we also talked about how is it different writing for a young adult audience? Because I think most people would think, you know, stereotypically that you have to simplify it for a young adult audience, or for you know, the worst characterization would be quote unquote dumb it down for a younger audience. And I don't think that's particularly true.
I don't either. In fact, it's almost that you have to dumb things down a bit for the adult audience. You know, I think kids of 14 through maybe 17, 18 are by and large extremely bright and able to follow complicated arguments. And it's as we get older that we tend to be a bit lazy about that.
So was your writing for Debunk It more rigorous, or was it?
It was a lot easier. I mean, obviously, you kind of take different examples for things. I mean, you would say, sort of imagine if your ghastly old uncle did this, which you wouldn't necessarily use in a book for adults. But in terms of the arguments being made, I mean, I see very little difference at all.
Excellent. Well, you know, I wanted to give you a chance before we ran out of time. I know that you were interested in doing a reading, particularly, I believe it's called Benji's Birthday.
Well, you told me I was going to do it.
Oh, wow. You know, I give him nightmares, I tell him what he's going to do. I'm very
the other night, I woke up at about 2:30 in the morning, sleep vanished, because I had dreamt about this event and what was going to happen. And the first reason that I knew in my dream that all was not going well was when Ricardo didn't bother to turn up. So I told him it was his fault I didn't get much sleep.
So, all yours.
Yeah, this is a short story which I'm reading at the insistence of my wife, who for some reason likes it. It was first published, oddly enough, in